This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Hello and welcome to Business Line with me, Pranav Bakshi. Bringing you a roundup of all the business news this week. Our top story. The Cabinet gave its nod to the big picture disinvestment plan of the Finance Ministry. All unlisted government-run companies must hit the market, while public shareholding in the listed companies should be stepped up to a minimum of 10%. All this money would be used to fund the government's planned expenditure.
The UPA government has fired a major shot in pushing public sector companies to hit the markets. In a significant but expected policy decision taken by the Union Cabinet, all profitable listed public sector enterprises will have to have mandatory 10% public ownership, while all unlisted government-controlled companies having positive net worth, no accumulated losses and a net profit for 3 consecutive years will also have to list on the stock exchanges. However, government stake will not fall below the 51% floor in any of these companies. Stake sale in companies will continue to be on a case-to-case basis.
There are a number of unlisted PSCs which have a good track record, which have no accumulated losses, which have a profit. So they will be identified by the Department of Disinvestment and then the Administrative Ministry, and they will bring it to the Cabinet. The decision still has to come to Cabinet on case-by-case basis. Yes.
That's not all. Funds raised from selling government stake in public sector companies will be used to plug government soaring expenditure. Disinvestment proceeds will be channelized into the National Investment Fund or the NIF as earlier. But under a special dispensation given by the Cabinet, Finance Ministry will use fresh disinvestment proceeds from the NIF to fund its planned expenditure. Government will not need any new approval from the Parliament or any other body to do this. All stake sale proceeds from April 1 of this fiscal till March 2012 will be used to fund capital expenditure in specific social sector schemes, which means the 4,200 crore that has come in via NHPC and Oil India disinvestments in the last 2 months will also flow to the government now. However, after 2012, status quo on the use of NIF kitty will be restored.
Disinvestment that will be now made, the proceeds will be used for capital expenditure on social sector programs. Instead of channeling it through the NIF, they will be directly used for capital expenditure in social sector programs.
This will allow you to use these resources without having to increase the fiscal deficit. So these become resources which can support the plan. Yes, if these resources were not available and you wanted to support the same plan, then you would have to have a higher fiscal deficit.
Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee has also achieved a political victory of sorts by getting the nod of his coalition partners for his disinvestment plan.
Home loan buyers have much reason to cheer. The country's biggest bank has decided to continue its much-hyped 8% scheme till March next year.
The festivities continue for the Indian customer, with SBI deciding to continue with its popular 8% interest rate scheme on home loans. State Bank of India says that this scheme will be extended till the end of the fiscal, a move that is sure to further intensify the already heated competition in the home loan market. With Axis Bank launching a special 8% scheme for the first year, Bank of Rajasthan dropping rates to 7.5% with effect from November 9, and Punjab National Bank extending its 8.5% scheme till December 31st. Bank's retail aggression isn't surprising considering a credit growth rate of just 9.6% and absence of strong demand from the corporates. In fact, both the disappointing credit growth numbers and SBI's move have already got other players thinking of extending their schemes too. SBI's aggression may also force other bigger private sector players to relook at their strategy for the fear of losing market share. The customers, however, are all smiles as the party continues.
And closer home, the young and dynamic students of Loyola Institute of Business Administration organized a symposium, Insight 2009. Top industry leaders shared their perspective on new and interesting business models. They also emphasized on the importance of change and adapting to change.
It was a rapt student audience absorbing insights shared by industry leaders. Aptly titled Insight 2009, the annual LIBA Symposium is in its 4th year now. This year's theme was Riding the New Wave, Emergence of New Business Models. The LIBA faculty believe that encouraging the students to organize such symposiums all on their own is in itself an invaluable learning experience.
And that goes behind the strategic intent of LIBA to inculcate leadership values in students in taking up initiatives, taking up responsibilities, because we at LIBA very clearly understand that MBA is just not classroom training. It has to be practically applied. A conference like this will give the students a fantastic ability to manage risk uncertainty, various uncertainties that happens in such symposia.
For the students, the learning has been immense. Choosing and inviting speakers, seeking sponsorships, and tying up with media houses has meant months of planning and strategizing.
From the students' perspective, I think I can say two things. One is the immense learning that we get out of organizing such an event. This kind of event needs a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, a lot of coordination, which goes on through months and coordinating through a large number of students. So that is the kind of learning experience that we get. The other thing is that the kind of reception that we get from the industry practitioners when we get in touch with them to invite them to this symposium, it's really warm. And because I think this is maybe because they look at us as the future leaders who would finally lead the companies, the industries, and even we get a very good opportunity to know how exactly the work is happening in industry, just trying to map the theory that we read in the college with the actual industry scenario.
And on their part, industry leaders see such symposiums as an opportunity to interact with curious young minds.
But I think what's material for people like us, for companies like us, is to engage with an audience who are potential employees, definitely, us in the community of industries in telecom, as also a hugely relevant segment who have an impact on the business we do on a day-to-day basis.
I think the Loyola program is all about sharing best practices, industry best practices, and it's a great idea to get companies together and give students the opportunity to learn. And for Caterpillar, we always seek the opportunity to interest students in manufacturing. We believe it's a very good career for people, but in India in particular, that's not been something that people have been targeting.
Speakers at Insight 2009 reiterated the importance and the need for change. They looked at the emergence of new business models and traditional ones that have successfully adapted to change. The bottom line always being, change is constant and change is good.
And now let's take a look at the market updates. The Indian Central Bank, RBI, announced that it had bought 200 tons of gold from IMF through its gold sale program through off-market transactions. This was seen as a move by the bank to diversify its reserves from the US dollar. Gold prices hit a new record of $1,101 an ounce in New York. Following this development and US jobs data, which showed the jobless rate rising to a 26-year high. SBI cut its deposit rates due to surplus liquidity and slow credit growth. It has cut rates by 25 to 50 percentage points on deposits up to 5 years. The Sensex managed to close the week at 16,158, up over 1% for the week. The Nifty 2 was up 1.8% at 4,796. Stay tuned to Business Line. Coming up is a discussion on IPOs.